Yeah, I can't believe that shit too. Steve Jobs, that's the most influential person in video games. God rest. I mean, may the may he rest in peace. I have a Mac. I like Mac. I have an iPod. That's it. He was a cool person. He was a cool CEO. He could steal your bag of shit if he wanted to. He was a good speech person. All that stuff. But the most influential person in video games, like, seriously, what has he done? Seriously. Okay, he created the Apple II, the mouse, the first we have a mouse. The iPhone plays games, and that's what they're talking about. That the iPhone is like the best game for mobile. I don't know, some bullshit. But the most influential person in games is a disrespect to most everybody in the industry. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. You got Shigeru Miyamoto, the guy who did Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Star Fox, Pikmin, countless other famous Nintendo franchises that sells millions upon millions of games that are icons around it, a world. Nintendo in general, they helped video games, well, consoles, from the 1983 video game market crash. They revolutionized video games. The little freaking D-pad, the Game Boy, the Super Nintendo controls where you have like the shoulder buttons, the N64 controller with the joystick, the Rumble Pack, 4 players, the Wii Motion controller, the Nintendo 3DS and the DS. Sony revolutionized games to make it appeal to everybody, not just a toy. Sega with the Dreamcast, online gaming, which wasn't really first Dreamcast, but they, a lot of Sega games, Jet Set, well, what I'm talking about. Even people like Gabe Newell, the guy who does from Valve, he did Half-Life. The biggest thing on PC is Steam, the service where you get games for like $1.50 if you wanted to, like Deus Ex and shit when they have their Steam sales. Half-Life, he revolutionized mods. Well, he didn't do it, but he supports mods. Steam is revolutionary. It came out around the same time as iTunes, I believe, in 2003, 2004. Huge, over 30 million subscribers. Trip Hawkins, the guy from EA, founded EA, who did 3DO, which kind of flopped there. The Japanese guy Yu Sakaki, who did Shenmue and Virtua Fighter, first 3D fighting game. Shit, a ton of people. But Steve fucking Jobs as the most influential person in video games? May rest in peace, but what the fuck? Like, let's be honest. Like, that's like a big pile of shit thrown in your face. That's like unbelievable. Hideo Kojima, Metal Gear Solid, Snatcher, Police Knots, the creator of Final Fantasy, Tetsuya Nomura, the designer of the Final Fantasy 7 characters. Now he directs Kingdom Hearts. Like, I'll pick any of those before Steve Jobs. Okay, he thought the iPhone, but he didn't really come up with the iPhone. Well, he came with the idea, but as a CEO, they take credit for what their workers do. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, oh, he revolutionized this, he revolutionized that. Gaming is not one of them. He revolutionized computers, the phone, the tablet. Gaming's not one of them. I'm a gamer. Apple made a console called the Apple Pippin. Steve Jobs was with them at the time, but they made a console. The shit sucked. It was a flop. If you heard of it, I'm surprised you had a look on YouTube or something. It was called the Apple Pippin. A shit system. When I read this article, I'm like, okay. Zach Zuckerberg was in there. Gabe Newell, can't pronounce his name. Shigeru Miyamoto, and Steve Jobs. They was like, oh, Steve Jobs with the iPhone, iOS, and all that other bullshit. I'm like, give me a fucking break. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. I just feel like there's other people who revolutionize gaming. Like, maybe only for PC gaming. Like, I can't even play games on my Mac. Like, when I go on Steam, like 5% of games can play on Mac. So I think they're just talking about the iPhone and iPad shit, like Angry Birds. I don't play that. I play like shit like hardcore games like Final Fantasy, Luminous. Like, I don't use my phone for games whatsoever. I have a PSP and a 3DS for that. And people seem to forget the N-Gage. That plays way better games than freaking iPhone in terms. Well, not really. Never mind. It was a stupid comment. Never mind. Pretend I didn't say that. Alright, I didn't say that at all. But yeah. Not to be mean on Steve Jobs, but I felt like there was much disrespect to the industry. Not that anybody cares, but I'm just saying. There was like tons of people. Like Ken Kitagari, I forgot, the guy who did PlayStation. The first PlayStation came out of nowhere and like annihilated the Sega Saturn and N64. Sold over 100 billion consoles. They like blew up, like it made video games popular with everybody. Like PlayStation went from, their demographic was teens and young adults. Everybody knows what a PlayStation is now. Like, people don't even know what a Sega Saturn is, but everybody knows what a PlayStation is. People don't even game like Nintendo. Like, they expanded their like friggin' like demographics from like 5-year-olds to like people in the grave. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, everybody, every system had, or I mean, every game company had something to do with gaming. Atari. Everybody should know what Atari done. Namco. They made Pac-Man and Icon. They made classic 1980s game like Galaga. Microsoft with the Xbox Live. HD console graphics. You know, I don't know. Achievement. Like, they done a lot. Like, without Microsoft, you wouldn't have had games like Halo or like you know, like Halo and all the other games that Microsoft produces, and they brought a lot to the industry. Hard drives, well, SNK with the memory cards, you know. Can't think off the top of my head, but my camera's dark as shit. Damn, I'm the same color as the background. I need to light this room up or something. But anyway, when I read this poll, I felt like, are you serious? Like, I'm actually mean, but what has he done? Can someone explain to me what has he done to deserve the most influential person in video gaming? So you can do a reply video, put in the text. Don't use no racial shit at me. I don't really care, but let's all just be professional and young adults. Well, I don't think, you know, but just seriously, what has he done for gaming? What has Steve Jobs done for gaming? He's the most influential person. Alright, seriously, want to know this. Drop a comment, whatever, just let me know.